NFL fans, do you want the 2020 season to start on time? If you do, like I do and the rest of us do at Chat Sports, like this video. We got some more information on this, including some head coaches speaking out about concerns about starting on time. We'll get into that and more NFL rumors on today's show. Let's start with Colin Kaepernick, as NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell did an interview with ESPN last night saying, look, I encourage a team to go out and sign Colin Kaepernick. Now, a couple of different angles to consider here. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll claims that at least one team has interest. Maybe that's the Seahawks, maybe it's not. Kaepernick hasn't played in 4 years. That's the bottom line here. So it'll be very, very fascinating to see if this actually takes place. Here's more from Goodell about this situation, saying, look, listen, if he wants to resume his career in the NFL, then obviously it's going to take a team to make that decision. But I welcome that, support a club making that decision, and encourage them to do that. That was with ESPN's Mike Greenberg last night. More on this story in a minute, but first, I hope you guys are continuing to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's the deal. We got these NFL face coverings. Only they will ship to you within 2 business days. They will ship out within 2 business days, I should say. So you'll get these within a week at chatsports.com/NFL mask. We've been back ordered, but you can get the single ones, like I said, within a week at chatsports.com/NFL mask. Just $14.99. Continue to stay safe. If we have football in the fall, which I hope we do, you're probably going to have to wear one of these at stadiums that let you in. So I'll put that link in the comments and in the description. Make sure to represent your team and order today at chatsports.com/NFL mask. Now, the idea of Colin Kaepernick returning to the NFL is certainly a fascinating one and a conversation we've been having off and on for the past 3 or 4 years. If I know I'm getting Colin Kaepernick, of course he belongs in the NFL. At the very least, he's a backup quarterback. But how many players take 4 years off and return and are still playing at a decent level, especially at quarterback? It's never happened, essentially. So it would obviously, be a very unique situation. Now, his camp claims that he's been working out. He stays ready. That's what he always throws out there, that he's always waiting for that opportunity. Kind of some mixed messaging at times, if we're being honest, especially with the whole workout in Atlanta last year. Turned down the controlled environment at the Falcons Stadium, went to like a nearby high school instead in front of way less people. So does he want to play? Who knows? But teams could be interested for the first time in quite a while. Now, I want you to be honest here. Do you want your favorite team to sign Colin Kaepernick? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video, so if you get hit with the ad break, just scroll on down and answer this question. I teased it a little bit earlier, a season delay. Could it happen? Let's pump the brakes on that. I don't think we're quite there yet, but ESPN's Ed Werder has spoken with at least 6 NFL head coaches, and he claims that 3 head coaches have raised concerns about the season starting on time. So let's dive into some quotes here. Again, we don't know who these head coaches are, but this was one of the head coaches he spoke with. I just put Sean Payton's picture on that. Don't connect the dots. I'm just picking a random coach here. You can have all of the protocols in place that you want, but eventually you have to play football. And what are you going to do if 10 guys on one team test positive? Are you going to quarantine the entire team? Werder talking with more coaches here, saying another coach or head coach said, he listed hypothetical situations. What if your entire quarterback room tests positive? What if your entire defensive coaching staff tests positive? What are you going to do then? And he just questioned the overall wisdom of playing during a pandemic. These are the type of questions we all want to know, right? That quarterback's one is probably the best one I've heard so far. Dallas Cowboys, for example, Dak Prescott and Andy Dalton both test positive. How do they play football for 2 weeks? Because you're going to have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. What do? Is Michael Gallup going to play quarterback? Producer Brett likes that idea, but it's a fascinating question, and a question, quite frankly, we don't have the answers to. So, do I believe we're going to have the NFL? Yes. Do I believe it's going to start on time? Probably, but what happens when these situations occur? That's what we want to know. But let me know if you think the season will at least start on time. Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. I'm typing my 1, but when I start hearing these questions arise, it makes me question and wonder a little bit what's going to happen when these situations occur. But I'm going to speak positivity. I'm going to type my 1 for yes. Guys, we are approaching 200,000 subscribers here on Chat Sports. We're at like 183,000 and change right now. Help us get to 200K before week 1 of the NFL season. Hit that big red subscribe button. We got the latest NFL rumors, news, all types of different segment ideas planned for you guys over the next couple of months. We'll get into the preseason. We'll get into the regular season. We'll keep you guys covered all year long on the NFL. Share that link right there as well with a friend. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. Some more NFL news here. Aldrick Rosas was arrested, and you know, normally we wouldn't do a basic arrest video, but this one's pretty wild, especially on a kicker, but I had to throw this one in here. Arrested for a hit and run charge while, by the way, driving on a suspended license. Officers believe alcohol was involved. This happened in Chico, California. Witnesses apparently saw him driving erratically and around 100 miles per hour. My favorite part of this story, this wasn't like a 2 or 3 a.m. situation. This was at 8:25 in the morning, apparently, in California. So the sun was up and all that good stuff. Here's a quote from, not a quote, a section of the TMZ story on this, who broke this story. According to cops, Rosas' hands, legs, and bare feet were covered in blood when they stopped him for questioning. They took him to a nearby medical center for evaluation before eventually booking him at the Butte County Jail. The Giants, of course, released a statement, very predictable, basically saying no further comment at this time. They are aware that he has been arrested. So this is a very interesting situation because he apparently was driving around 100 miles an hour, hit another vehicle, kept driving, his star eventually stalls out, and then he tries to run off while he's just dripping in blood and clearly injured. This is a situation to monitor. Obviously, the Giants are also dealing with the DeAndre Baker situation. Not great times right now for the Giants this offseason. The Giants offseason is what a Cowboys typical offseason looks like. It's kind of flipped the script. It's very, very fascinating. We'll see what happens with Rosas moving forward. He was a Pro Bowl a couple of years ago. Not easy to replace kickers in today's NFL. So obviously the Giants, the Redskins, you know, kind of the bottom 2 teams in the NFC East. Who will have more wins in 2020? Type G for the G-Men, type R for the Redskins. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments section. We got an interesting trade idea here on today's show. How about the Seahawks trading for Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones? And now these two teams have familiarity trading with one another, as Seattle did send Frank Clark to Kansas City last offseason. This idea is proposed by the Seahawks SB Nation site, Field Goals there, that the Seahawks should trade for Jones. Now, look, this would be a great situation for Seattle, right? Like, the Clowney thing appears to have dried up. We'll see if they're interested in another pass rusher. How about bringing in Chris Jones, who, outside of Aaron Donald, is probably the best defensive tackle from a pass rushing standpoint in the National Football League? We know the Seahawks need more pass rush help. Why not bring in Chris Jones, who does that maybe better than anybody else outside of Aaron Donald at the defensive tackle position? What do you guys think? Should Seattle trade for Chris Jones? Type T for trade, type D for don't. If you can get him, like, without giving up multiple first-round picks, this is definitely something to consider if you are the Seattle Seahawks. Something that you shouldn't even consider, but you should go ahead and do, is get yourself an NFL face mask. Seahawks fans, you can get this one right here at chatsports.com/NFL mask. If you order right now, it'll ship within 2 business days, and you'll get it in less than a week. I'll put this link in the comments and the description. It's chatsports.com/NFL mask. Continue to stay safe and continue to do so while repping your favorite team. Now, defensive line has certainly been a topic of conversation in Seahawks circles, especially 1, the Clowney situation, but 2, this group isn't great. Hopefully LJ Collier takes a step forward in year 2, but that's a little uncertain. Chris Jones, you put him in this group at one of those defensive tackle spots, maybe next to Jaron Reed or Poona Ford, whichever one, that's going to help bolster your defensive line in a major, major way. The Seahawks did not get after the quarterback nearly often enough this past season, and while overall this team has shifted to offense with Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, and all those pieces, the defense would like to get back closer to what it was during their Super Bowl runs just a few years ago. Chris Jones is a player that can help you do just that. So I'm throwing this trade together. Because if I'm the Chiefs, I'm not just giving Chris Jones away. A first and a fifth for Chris Jones. You're saying, why another pick on top of a first? Well, the Seahawks are probably going to be drafting between 25 and 32. Based on recent history, especially if they're getting Chris Jones. They're going to be a contender. So throwing an extra pick there to juicy, to lighten things up for the Chiefs' liking in the end. Who do you guys think would win this trade? Type S for Seahawks, type C for Chiefs? I always go with the team that gets the superstar. So I actually like Seattle getting Chris Jones here in a deal from Kansas City. We know the Chiefs would be open to moving him because they got to pay Patrick Mahomes. They don't want to pay Chris Jones top dollar. If I'm Seattle, I'm at least knocking on the door and seeing what Kansas City is willing to give up or get in return for Chris Jones. Now, you Seahawks fans, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our Seahawks Only channel. We're growing like crazy. Fastest channel in chat sports history to reach 1,000 subscribers. Join the movement. If you're watching on our main channel, the link is in the description. It's chatsports.com/SeahawksTV. Get subscribed over there. More subscribers, we'll be putting more videos up on our Seahawks Only channel. More NFL news here. The Pro Bowl is heading to Vegas. Now, this doesn't make up for the Raiders not being the host of the draft this year, but they'll get that in 2022 anyway. Maybe this sparks some excitement around the Pro Bowl, right? Producer Brett says no. I'm trying to talk myself into it. It's been years since I've watched the Pro Bowl like religiously. I'll be honest. It was fun when it was in Hawaii, but then it's like Orlando. If I'm a player, why would I go to Orlando? I'd want to go to Vegas though if I'm a player, not to play the game, but play some craps, hit the strip and all that good stuff. So we'll see if there's some excitement there. How would you guys fix the Pro Bowl? How would you spice things up? Because right now, it's just not nearly exciting enough. I think I would get rid of the game and just have them play like other sports. 3-on-3 basketball tournament? Who says no? That's what I would like to see from these NFL athletes. But we'll see how it goes in Vegas. We'll see if a Pro Bowl even happens this year with the ongoing pandemic and whatnot. But again, Vegas will get the draft in 2022, and at least they get the Pro Bowl in 2021.